Do you ever have some days where you just feel like giving up? But today is not that day because quitting is not an option. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Thinking Effect, where we help you do your daily best. And as always, we thank you for tuning in. This is episode 201. If this is your first time on the journey, The Thinking Effect is where we share personal stories, and not just stories, but things that we've learned about life and how you can help navigate and manage through your day and become self-aware and self-empowered. And before I forget, let me get on my coaching thing for a minute. When we talk about self-aware, we are very avid believers in the DISC assessment. You don't know what the DISC assessment is? It's a 10-minute questionnaire that you can take that will basically tell you your life, right? It'll break down what your strengths are, weaknesses are, what's your best working environment, how you function naturally versus adaptive. If it's something that you're interested in, head over to the website, tomdanger.com, T-O-M, that is my name, TOMDANGER.com, contact section, and just put DISC, D-I-S-C, and I can get that over to you with the link. And then it comes with a free call directly from me for about 15 minutes, and I will not sell you in that 15 minutes. We'll just go over your assessment, and if it's something that you want to look at in further detail, then we'll talk. So that's my spiel. And also, if I be on my salesman thing for a minute, like if you just want to show support for the show, I do also have 2 books out, Motivation and Confidence, Volume 1, The 7 Steps, Motivation and Confidence, Volume 2, Building Up Your Confidence. First book, if you're the type of person where you have ideas and they're all over the place, you're scatterbrained, you need some sort of system in place, the 7 steps will guide you. And if you're the type of person where you struggle with self-confidence and you're sort of trying to ask yourself like, well, how could I improve my self-confidence? I was that guy who suffered from self-confidence as a child, bullied, all that good stuff. Not good stuff, but that struggle that you go through. And I talk about the steps that I took, probably 13 steps that I'd like to talk about, and how you too can become more self-confident. You can purchase the books as digital downloads, or if you like a physical copy, they're both in the link. I think so. It's in the link, or either I'll put it in the description to the podcast if you want to show support. But you know what the coolest support is of them all is if you would leave a comment about what you think about the podcast, so that I can actually see the people that are actively involved. And if you're not comfortable leaving a comment, or if you have a subject that you'd like for us to address, as always, you go to the same website, tomdanger.com, contact, and just put your question there. And next week, we'll read it aloud and do the best to answer it. If you want your name to be known, that's fine. If you want to remain anonymous, that's fine too. But we are here to help you do your daily best. Wow, that was a lot, right? So quitting is not an option. I have a cousin that's been in jail now for about almost 10 years, right? I never judged him for what he was in jail for. I believe that no one is perfect, and if he did do something wrong, and if he is guilty of it, he is serving his time. This is his path to redemption. So I've been supportive of him financially, but more than that, if he calls, I pick up the phone. And he would always, or he would talk to me about the challenge of just being in prison. He's like, there's savages in here, and it's hard, and I can't I got to take a shower with flip flops on. You know, I don't want my feet to touch the floor because men are doing, you know, I don't have to tell you, but what they're doing in the showers. You know, the showers are yucky. That's the word, yucky, right? Aggressiveness in the yard playing basketball, or just as he gets closer and closer to finishing out his time, his 10 years, I think he's at about 8 years and some months. He talks about how hard it is in these final days, pretty much. And how he just wants to wild out and fight and be aggressive because this is the energy that's being brought towards him. And to me, that sounds as if he is about to give up, right? Like he's ready to quit. And I always tell him, like, don't do that. You know, you have, or he has reached a point to where he is doing his time. So you can't allow the actions of other people to take that away from you. Because imagine, now there's other people in prison who have longer bits to serve. So just because someone else has more time to serve, that doesn't mean that you have to be strong enough not to allow them to take you away from what you've accomplished, right? And on the flip side, what I like to say is you have to ask yourself, what's your goal, right? So in his case, his goal is to get out and create a new life for himself. But if you quit, or if you just fall to the victim of wanting to be a savage like everybody else, what do you do? Like you're literally just throwing it all away. Is that really what you want to do? And think about a time in life when you went through something and you were just ready to give up. You're ready to give up. Do you even understand why you started that particular journey? And I think, you know, sometimes you don't even realize like what you're getting yourself into. Now, the whole point about prison, I don't think nobody is moving with the intent of getting in prison and wanting to stay in prison. But the intent is, what do you want to do when you get out? And if you quit, now you're automatically throwing away everything that you set yourself up for. Everything. And what's most important is when he calls, I pick up the phone, because if you have other family members or friends or relatives or loved ones that are incarcerated, those calls mean the most to them because it removes them from the environment that they're in. I remember one time I was on the phone with him and I was outside and it had just finished raining. And even in general conversation, he's like, wow, a car had rolled past. And he was like, yo, it's raining. I was like, yeah, how do you know? He said, I could hear the dampness on the tires when the car passed. Just the heightened sense of awareness from being inside to what's going on outside. Like little things like that he could pick up on. Or we'll talk about books because he wants to stay grounded. So he'll read particular books. And he's really doing his best, in my opinion, to get back into society, to say like, this is what he wants to do. But if you quit, you're going to throw it all away. Right? And sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time you have to ask yourself, like, what's the point of you quitting? Like, are you really quitting because it's hard? Or you just want to do things because it's easy? Anything worth having doesn't necessarily come easy. Your trials may come to you in different ways. Life is going to continually test you. So you can't just give up. You got to keep on pushing. So if you can serve as an inspiration to someone else, or if you can share your story as an inspiration to someone else on why they should keep going, share your story. Now, let's not be silly here. If you tried something over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and you're not getting the desired result that you want, that doesn't necessarily mean you quit. That means that you need to make an adjustment. Okay, I've tried 100 ways and it didn't work that way, so now I have to try it a different way. But quitting is not an option. Quitting is just like saying you failed. It's like falling down and now you're saying that you don't want to get up. But you're already down. Don't you want to feel what it feels like to win? Quitting don't feel good. Quitting is like defeat. And we're not talking about honorable defeat. Honorable defeat is like when you've given it all that you have, like you fought, you gave it 110%. Not just, oh, because you got a strong blow to the face, somebody punch you in your jaw, and now you just gonna lay out. Now you got to swing back, because life gonna keep coming at you. So quitting is not an option. This is the Thinking Effect, where we help you do your daily best.